Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. Boy, oh boy, was this whole thing a misadventure. But we'll get into that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight my super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? Well, folks, boom, it's my Sega Dreamcast shirt. I love this shirt. This has got to be upper echelon. Outside of like concert shirts, because I have a lot of concert shirts. I have a fair amount of like nerdy shirts and stuff. This one's got to be up there. Not only because it is of one of the greatest systems of all time, the Sega Dreamcast, but then on top of that, this was like one of the first like nerdy shirts that I ordered online for myself when I was kind of like, I kind of fell into that whole thing where it's like, oh, it's a limited design. They're only going to have, boop, 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 boop. And then of course, like you can still get them now, I believe. But yes, it is my Sega Dreamcast shirt. I absolutely love the Sega Dreamcast. If you are unfamiliar, because maybe you're not in video games or maybe you're not 1,000 years old like I am, Sega Dreamcast was Sega's last official console that they produced. It was a glorious little system that just had the damnable fucking situation of it was just the worst. There was nowhere to go for it, unfortunately. Sadly, it was just Sega had kind of gone over there and burned a lot of bridges at that point, and then they came out and it did well. People kind of, fucking forget about that. But like it broke records when it first came out for sales and stuff. But then like a year later, the PS2 came out and that just curb stomped everything that generation. Sadly, the Dreamcast fell away. But it is still a phenomenal system beloved by collectors like myself. But anyway. What am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why was it a whole adventure? Well, folks, boom! It's look at it, it's soup. It is specifically, by the way, this is the vegetarian autumn squash soup, which consists of butternut squash, pumpkin, vegetable broth, honey, apple juice, cinnamon, a hint of curry, finished with a sweet cream, and topped with roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. And it's from Panera. I used Grubhub to get this. I should have just gone through Panera's website, but I had a gift card, so do as you do. I don't like Grubhub very much, by the way. Thanks so much to the people who gave me the gift card. I love you more than you'll ever know. But oh my god, with Grubhub do they suck. Because I went through Grubhub, and I went over there, I did my whole order, and I've ordered through Grubhub before, and I've ordered from Panera on Grubhub before. And I went through this whole damn process. I complete my order. I go to the Panera. My order's not there. Fuck. So I go over there and I check back on the order. Oh no, we put it in a different Panera. Because according to Google Maps, the Panera that, they sent my order to was like 0.000002% closer than the other one. So it just defaulted to the closest one. But in reality land, where traffic and shit and stuff are real, it's not the closest one compared to the other one that I go to. I hate Grubhub. But anyway, so I don't know, it's not going to be as warm as it could be because I had to fucking go all the way goddamn around town. But anyway, let's take a look at this. It smells good. I do like a butternut squash pumpkin soup kind of thing, so I don't know if I'm really going to be able to get... It's like there's no good way to really get like a thing, but like, sure, something like that. Yeah, that'll be a thumbnail, I guess. Let's try out some soup. It's still warm. Trying to see if I can pick up on all the subtle hints of all the other apple juice and the hint of curry. Right now it just tastes like a pretty solid butternut squash soup. It's got like that sweetness, a lot of richness. It's got a little depth. I'll be honest with the pumpkin seeds. They add a little bit of texture, but I don't think they add much in the way of actual flavor. They're kind of more just there for flair. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Whenever it comes to like these reviews, obviously, like my whole thing is fundamentally I'm just trying to give you a thing as to whether or not it's some shit you should eat. But I do try to, give my opinion on, use my palate to give my opinion on, different flavors and stuff. And when you have like a whole list of things, it becomes a thing like you start looking for stuff. Certain flavors that they say are supposed to be there. But the question becomes, am I finding them because they're actually there or what have you? And it's especially difficult with really subtle flavors. So, am I getting like hints of apple juice and stuff like that? Maybe. But like, it's probably more just the butternut squash, the sweetness from that. I don't think I'm really. Let me put it to you this way. I could say that yes, I'm getting them, but if I hadn't read that, if I just gotten the soup and just done it, do I think I would have picked out apple juice? No. I don't think that I'm getting like a lot of apple juice flavor or anything. But I can see where if apple juice were applied to this, it would go over there and give it an added, not only an added sweetness, but like sort of an added almost autumn kind of taste to it. What with the appleness and the autumn and stuff. Same thing with like the curry. There's definitely a little bit of a spiced thing going on. I don't think I would have picked it out as being like a curry spice as such, but sure, they said it's there. There is definitely a spiced aspect to it. We'll go with that. It's honestly pretty dang good. It is nowhere near as good as like a proper like homemade squash soup is. My dad actually used to, very rarely, but he would occasionally make like a squash soup. He'd use the squash we had from our garden. My friend's mom, she'll occasionally make one. And I mean, when you get it and it's like freshly made and everything, I mean, it's a whole other level. This is still good though. It's doing the job that it's supposed to do. It's Panera, so I'm sure I overpaid for it. Thing is, I would go over there and include the price, but the thing is that since I paid through Grubhub, well, they go over there and jack the price up because Grubhub got to get their money, and it's ridiculous. Which is kind of sad and a little bit funny considering the fact that like Grubhub goes over there. Here's a service that millions of people use every single day, and they upcharge on all this stuff and everything, and they're still like I think like $2 to $6 billion in debt, like they're a completely non-profitable company. But that aside, it's a good soup. Again, it's not as good as the proper homemade stuff, but it's tasty enough. It's got some sweetness, some richness, it's got a little depth to it, and there is a little complexity. Like, regardless of whatever the ingredients list might say, and whatever that might trick my brain into looking for, fundamentally, there is stuff there, for sure. Whether I could pick out the individual notes or not, that's neither here nor there. It fundamentally just comes down to the overall flavor profile. And especially, oh no. Oh well, gotta wash this shirt anyway. But overall, it's a nice soup for what it is. Two questions have to be asked though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm gonna go with maybe and sort of. The fundamental issue I do run into it with this particular thing is it good enough to pay what I paid for it? Because this is a cup, it's like, and when I think about like, like Potbelly, they have their versions of stuff and everything. Panera, they try to be a little bit, they have a little bit more of an eclectic type of stuff. I mean, it's a good soup. I could maybe see myself getting it again if I went to Panera for something and just be like, fuck it, let's get some soup. Because it's tasty. And I do enjoy a butternut squash, soup and all that kind of stuff. You know, so it kind of hits, like, because I'm not going to make the stuff, you know, clearly. But, yeah, I could see myself getting it again. It wouldn't be a regular thing again, just because, well, for one thing, it's a limited time thing, but on top of that, again, it's just the cost thing on Panera, you know? Panera is one of those, like, once in a while kind of things. Like I said, I used a Grubhub thing. If I'm recommending it, though, if you're already going to Panera anyway, you already know the Panera prices are what they are. Would I go out of my way to get this? No. It's good, but I'll say this, if for whatever reason you have a particular hankering for, like, butternut squash soup, sure, it's perfectly fine. You know, you're paying a little bit much for it, but there's more there going on than there had to be. And to Panera's credit, I do feel like sometimes they get, you know, somewhat shit on for some of their food stuff. I've mostly had good experiences, even if it is a little bit overpriced. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you really want some, it's there and it's available and it's decent, but by that same token, I wouldn't go out of my way for it. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Spectacular rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Spanish rest of here. Folks, go over there. Every soul's a truly butternut squash-tastic rest of your life. Because butternut squash is just, it's really good, man. Maybe I'll go to, maybe I'll check out, like, the Whole Foods, because I know sometimes they have, like, seasonal soups available and stuff, and I'll see what's going on there. Maybe they have a squash soup, and I can compare and contrast. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. Trust me. When I was over there driving all the way around town to get my goddamn Panera order, I was not being an asshole. I'm a pretty calm driver for the most part, but, like, it is one of those things, like, when I'm trying to get someplace and y'all's dragging your ass or going over there and taking forever to make a fucking right turn or whatever, I will start losing my shit a little bit. That's when, like, my sanity is at its near breaking point. But take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to watch my video and hear of my plight with Grubhub, and maybe you're of a business acumen in mind, right? Maybe you're going to kick down the door of Grubhub, you're going to take whoever the fuck is running it, and you're going to throw them out the fucking window, just like the goddamn meme. You're going to be like, I am Grubhub now! And then you go over there and you run it competently, so not only does it go over there and turn a profit, but it doesn't go over there and send fucking people to the wrong goddamn Panera bread. I'm still salty about that. Or conversely, let's not murder the CEO of Grubhub. I'm sure that individual is, let's be honest, probably not doing very much realistically and taking in a huge ass fucking paycheck, but I could be wrong. To be fair, I've never been a CEO. I will never be a CEO for all the reasons. So, bye.